Alright, it's time for player ratings, and we'll be talking through the Atletico Madrid and Arsenal game that ended 1-all in the first leg. Not the greatest, but also not the worst results. And honestly, going back home, where we still have a pretty good record this season, it has faltered during the month of April with the loss to Bournemouth, but after all, we are still a tremendously good home side. So all things are looking good at the moment. Alright, let's take it through the whole squad, shall we? So, David Raya, we're starting from the very top, and I thought David Raya was my man of the match with a well-deserved, very good ranking. He kept us in it. He kept us in it. It goes both ways, I guess. Atletico Madrid's finishing was not that great. Lookman had a couple of really, really good looks at goal, and if he shoots to either corner, he probably scores. But both times he shoots it straight at Raya, and credit to Raya, he's in a good position, and he makes two comfortable saves from those chances. There's also a couple of blazing shots, one from Molina that he really, really struck the ball really well towards the end of the game. And Raya, if you look at the replay, I think he had a bit of a fingertip to it. Was called a goal kick, but it looked like the ball changed its trajectory. But yeah, overall, a very solid game from David Raya. I mentioned before that he's been liable to some pretty dumb mistakes with this game. He was very tidy with the ball at his feet. Always tidy when claiming crosses and corners, making those decisions. Very organized back line. Big part is to Raya. And yeah, overall, a very good performance from David Raya, our goalkeeper. Kept us in it, kept the score 1-all, which is a great thing. In terms of distribution, no real qualms. He didn't waste any balls this time round. He was very patient with his balls. When he was going long, he had a target in mind. He was accurate with them. So yeah, nothing to complain about David Raya. Fortunately, from top to bottom, Ben White had a stinker of a performance. Poor. Not just because he gave away the pen, and yes, the ball ricochets off his foot, I believe, into his outstretched arm, but you have to play to the rules, you have to play the tournament. Yes, Premier League is not given, but Champions League, any touch to the arm, to the hand, is most likely going to be a penalty. So he has to be really mindful, and he's experienced. He's been in this position before, so really, really disappointed that he's just not able to tuck his arms behind his back or to his side, and the ball smacks into his penalty, and which Alvarez very, very comfortably takes. That's the goal that we conceded, and then was involved in Lookman's two shots, where one of them completely misjudges the cross. He goes for a tackle. Lookman evades it very easily, controls it, shoots straight at Raya. It's happened a couple of times now. It happened against Manchester City, I believe, or was it Bournemouth? I think it was Bournemouth, where he misjudges the cross, I believe, and maybe it was Southampton, but he misjudges the cross, and the player was wide open in goal. Could have potentially been a carbon copy of that goal, but thankfully we survived that. But yeah, look, Ben White, it's not a good look. Not a good look. For someone, I've been a huge, and I guess as a whole, fan base. We love what Ben White has done for the club, for the team, for his whole tenure. He's been a rock for us. He was a really big part of why we were such a formidable team back in 22-23, where we had no right, no reason to be so good. But I guess the injuries have taken the toll. His lack of playing time has taken a toll, and it's very, very easy to see why Urian Timber is just a whole class above what Ben White is. So yeah, poor performance. And it's very frustrating. You know, the last game I actually rated him pretty highly. I thought he had a really good game last time out against Newcastle, but this game just, yeah, not good. Saliba, always reliable, always calm, cool, collected. He's always going to be at a good. I don't think I've ever rated him below a good. He's just always been a solid piece to our back line. He's always calm. He's always collected. The ball at his feet, I feel so comfortable. It's not very often you speak about a centre half and feeling so comfortable with him with the ball at his feet, but Saliba gives you that confidence. He oozes confidence when he dribbles the ball. Yes, there was that one moment where he over dribbled, tried to take the game on a little bit too much, lost the ball, and it led to a Atletico Madrid breakaway, which thankfully resolved to nothing. But more times than not, he was able to deliver us getting out of the press just single-handedly through his technical ability. His passing was clean, didn't really give the ball away outside of that one moment. We were patient. The ball was played along our backline quite a lot as we looked to control the game, looked to take the crowd out of the game, which I think I agreed with this tactics. And a lot of the ball was at Saliba's feet, and he controlled the pace of the game very, very well. Defensively, obviously, very solid. Only led in the one goal, which was a penalty. Otherwise, was very physical, was very clean with his challenges. So, not much to complain with William Saliba yet again. Gabriel, same line of thinking, is going to put it as a good. Obviously, I'm not going to harp on it every game, but obviously not as technical as Saliba, but was fantastic defensively yet again, as we've pretty much come to know this two backline. You can always depend on them to deliver you a solid game. At times, Gabriel is liable to some mistakes, but this game kept it clean, kept it tidy with the ball at his feet. Never really gave Atletico Madrid a sniff. Was responsible of a really good block against Griezmann's shot, and I think he was lying on the ground there as the ball was ricocheting around after a cross or something like that. So yeah, lovely block, and overall handled the forward line of Atletico quite well. Alvarez had a couple of really, really fantastic shots at goal, but that was more of individual brilliance, not from Gabriel's or Saliba's, I guess, lack of defensive prowess. Hincapié continues to be extremely solid for us as a replacement left back, as Calafiori is still missing in action. Wonder what he's been up to. Calafiori always picks up the weirdest injuries that leaves him out of the squad for an extended amount of time, and has always left us wondering, where is he? What's going on with him? But Capia stepped up into that role, and he's performed extremely well. From a man of the match performance against Newcastle last weekend to now yet again another good performance. Handled his right wing extremely well. Didn't really give them much of a sniff. He was very physical, very hungry on the challenges. Won the ball back multiple times. Kept it clean and tidy. Yeah, love what Hincapié has done, and I think it's safe to say we need to sign this man, improve that loan to a contract, give this guy the paper. Zubimendi. So, more on this. So Zubimendi and Rice, I guess they switched roles a bit. Zubimendi played more of the box-to-box-ish sort of role that Declan Rice used to play, whereas Declan Rice now dropped back deep, became more of the deep-lying playmaker role that Zubimendi used to play for this match. And I think it worked really well. Obviously, Zubimendi was part of the goal that we scored by after winning the ball back after a really good press. Zubimendi was able to control the volley and knock it on to Gyökeres, who was running into space, who gets knocked down, penalty awarded, and we got the goal. So big involvement from that. And you could definitely see him be more involved with the ball going forward. And I think it's probably something that Arteta might consider more going forward. I think Rice is more suited to that deep lying playmaker, that holding midfielder position, being more defensively minded. I think technically ability, Zubimendi has a bit more of that in his repertoire. At times, Declan Rice can look a bit stiff when he dribbles. At times, he can be a bit indecisive. Although this game, he was a lot better, Declan Rice, compared to the Newcastle game, where that one moment where he just didn't want to shoot for some reason. But yeah, Zubimendi, I think, was a good this game, and I want to see more of that from Zubimendi. Hopefully, Arteta continues with this going forward. I think it's something to consider, since I think Rice really does suit that holding midfield role a bit better, because he's a lot better defensively. He's more of a physical presence, and the way he strides and covers ground when he needs to help out the centre halves, I think that's more in Rice's wheelhouse. Moving on to Rice again. Said enough about it. His new role, and I'm going to put him as a good. I think he performed quite well in that role. So yeah, more to see from him. Hopefully, he continues to deliver in that position. Martin Odegaard, gonna give him an average. Didn't really have any fantastic moments in the game. He did have that one bit of possession in the box where frustratingly Odegaard has a habit of just taking too many touches before he shoots. And again, this is where we were able to win the ball back from a press, I believe, and Odegaard receives the ball. Can't remember who it was. Was it from Zubimendi or Martinelli? Not too sure. And then he's in the box, takes too many touches, 2 to 3 touches, and it definitely shows his lack of confidence in his right foot. He didn't want to shoot with his right foot until he had to. He was trying desperately to try and shift the ball to his left foot, but in the end, took too many touches and allowed the Atletico Madrid defend to block the shot eventually. So that was a big chance begging. Could have been an early goal in the game and put away the tie early on, but unfortunately Odegaard did not deliver for us. He needs to get that instinctive finishing touch into his game back. We've seen it before. His lack of confidence, it's a bit worrying. Hopefully he discovers it, but I think the constant injuries that he suffers, the lack of consistent game time, I think it all plays into our captain. Noni Madueke, I think he was good. I think I put him as an average. No, Madueke was average. He had one really good play where he was able to dribble through 2 defenders on his side and deliver a really good cross to the back post, and Capier couldn't quite keep down. If Capier was able to keep it down, take the shot on target, very, very likely it could have been a goal because he was coming on with a lot of pace, with a lot of power. Outside of that, didn't really notice Madueke too much. So yeah, pretty quiet game, but had a good involvement. Defensively, a lot better this game as well. So yeah, average. Martinelli on the opposite wing, didn't really notice him at all. I'm gonna put him as a poor. Didn't really notice him much this game. He was, not much to say. Defensively, again, I always, it's very concerning when your best involvement in the game is your defensive effort when you're an attacker, and we don't, not much to say really, unfortunately. Definitely needing more from Martinelli. Okay, Gyökeres started this game. Obviously Havertz was injured, but Havertz I think played well. I will put him as a good. He was dangerous for most of the night. He was a handful for Atletico Madrid defenders to deal with. Obviously very involved with the goal winning the penalty, scoring a really good penalty. You could say it could have been saved by Oblak as the ball goes through both his outstretched arms, but the power, the speed beats him, and he scores a goal. He's still yet to miss a penalty for us. I think he's 5 or 6 or 6 right now. So most definitely our best penalty taker. So whenever he steps to the line, I'm so confident that he's going to bang it in. But he continues to work himself to the ground for us, which is remarkable. The amount of minutes, the amount of work rate that he does, and he just doesn't end up injured, is really a testament to his conditioning, his fitness, and is remarkable because you're thinking he missed a lot of the preseason. Yeah! He lost a lot of the preseason, which you would have think would have played to his lack of fitness, right? But no, he's all right. He's not getting injured a lot, so good to see. Hopefully he keeps going. I wish it wasn't taken off though. Arteta really likes to play Jesus, and Jesus came on very invisible. Didn't really notice him. Didn't have any impact on the game. I think you just leave Gyökeres on the field. He could do something at least. In terms of Arteta, I think he set us up pretty well. He came in, knew that he needed to take the crowd out of the game first, slow the game down, make sure Atletico Madrid couldn't get into the rhythm, and for the most part it led to a fantastic amount of control over the game. And to be fair, we should have come out of this game with a winning score. Obviously the VAR decision is appalling. How is that clear and obvious to be overturned? Who knows? We should have been awarded that penalty, and we should have been 2-1 up. So I think that's the 1-1 scoreline doesn't really reflect how the game went, although you could say we did survive that really bad period of 20 minutes in the first bit of the second half before we regathered control. So maybe you could say it's a fair reflection of the game being 1-1, but I think overall Arteta set us up pretty well. Unfortunately, he couldn't start Eze on the left wing as he liked to in the previous games. I think making sure we're nursing his injury that he picked up against Newcastle. So overall, I thought his game plan was good. Alright, and just a quick one on the subs. Again, Jesus, invisible, didn't notice him. I wish he didn't come on. I mentioned before that I think his best role right now is actually at the cam role. So he seems to get on the ball a lot more. He seems to be a bit more lively when he gets more of the ball, and he gets that when he's playing in that number 10 spot. So maybe something to think about. But yeah, sort of poor from him. Trossard, his very first involvement of the game. I think he was. Maybe I'm misremembering it. Maybe I'm confusing it with the Newcastle game. But Arteta late in the second half really brought in all the technical players onto the pitch, including Trossard, Eze, Saka, and Jesus. And more on the rest. Trossard didn't. He's just lost his technical ability for some reason. Where has it gone? He keeps losing the ball. He just doesn't seem to be a threat at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah. So unfortunately, gonna have a bit of the poor, maybe an average, maybe poor. I didn't really notice him. Mosquera came on very late for Ben White, but immediately got himself a shot on target, playing like a right back Calafiori role. So I think we'll be seeing more of Mosquera because of Ben White's lack of form right now. And I was critical of Mosquera early on at that position, but I think now I'm pretty confident to say he should be our starting right back in this squad as Timber continues to recover from his injury. Eze came on, didn't really have much of an impact as the game was again more controlled pace. Had a lovely bit of dribbling though, to be fair, but and should have won the penalty. He was awarded the penalty. He should have won it. Got overturned for some damn reason, but unfortunately for that. So yeah, Mosquera and Eze can go as just an average, and then Saka. unfortunately, he just looks very, very rusty. And before his injury, there was a lot of criticism for Saka. His season hasn't taken off the way we would have liked him to be. He seemed, not sure if it is true or not. He seemed selfish. He didn't seem to pass the ball a lot. He looked primarily to try and get his own. And this game, he was losing the ball out. He couldn't really complete any real dribbles. He completed one dribble at the very, very end of the game. But other than that, didn't really look like the Saka that we know. Maybe it's a lack of playing time. Maybe it's just coming back from injury. But yeah, it's not great, is it? That right wing position now is sort of a problem, because now you have a Saka that's underperforming. Madueke doesn't have that quality that we need. So now you're looking at both our wings. Left wing still does solve a bit of that problem, but our right wing could be a bit of a mess, as especially since we love going down that right wing. And unfortunately, we might need to rely on more Max Dowman coming off the bench. So unfortunately, Saka gonna have to be a pull. But that's my player ratings. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, do you agree with it? Am I too harsh? Am I too lenient on some players? Let me know in the comments. But otherwise, click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video.